The Skinwalker, the terror that walks among us. They move in the shadows, watching, waiting. Sometimes they look like a man. Sometimes they look like an animal. But make no mistake, whatever they are not human. They are skinwalkers. And once you see one, it has already seen you. The Skinwalker comes from Navajo folklore, a terrifying entity known as a Yi-Naldlushi, which means one who walks on all fours. But this is no ordinary creature. A skinwalker is said to be a witch, someone who has broken sacred laws and given up their humanity in exchange for supernatural power. They have the ability to shapeshift, taking the form of animals, coyotes, wolves, owls, or even people they have killed. But their transformation is not perfect. If you look closely, you'll see something off. A coyote that stands too tall, a wolf with human-like eyes, an owl that speaks in whispers. Some say they wear the skins of their victims, draping themselves in human flesh to move undetected. And once a skinwalker sets its sights on you, there is no escape. People who have crossed paths with a skinwalker report strange, bone-chilling experiences. A rancher in the deserts of Utah once spotted a massive wolf standing by his cattle. When he shot it, the bullets had no effect. The creature simply turned and stared at him with piercing, intelligent eyes before walking away, disappearing into the trees. A woman driving through the Arizona wilderness saw a coyote running beside her car, keeping pace at 60 miles per hour. When she looked into the rearview mirror, the coyote was gone, but a man with hollow eyes stood in the road behind her. Others have heard knocking at their windows at night or scratching at their doors, only to look outside and find nothing there. Some have seen figures in the distance, moving on all fours, running impossibly fast. Some say skinwalkers can even mimic voices, calling out the names of their victims in the night, luring them into the dark. And if you hear your name whispered in the wind, do not answer. There are ways to protect yourself, but few are brave enough to try. Do not speak their name aloud. Talking about skinwalkers is said to draw their attention. Some believe they listen, waiting for someone foolish enough to call them. Do not whistle at night. It is believed that whistling invites them closer. You may hear a whistle in return, but you won't like what comes next. If you see one, never lock eyes. A skinwalker can curse you with just a glance. Some say they can steal your skin and take your form, leaving nothing of you behind. Are skinwalkers simply a legend, a warning passed down through generations? Or is there something darker out there, something that lurks on the edges of our world? Ask those who have seen one, and they will tell you they are real. They are watching. And once you see a skinwalker, it never forgets you. Resurrection Mary, Chicago's most famous ghost. She stands by the side of the road, bathed in pale light. A young woman in a white dress waiting. You might not notice her at first, but then she raises her arm, and slowly she beckons. She needs a ride. She needs to go home. But where is home for the dead? Chicago's Archer Avenue is more than just a road. It's a passage between the living and the dead. And if you drive it late at night, you might see her. Resurrection Mary. For nearly a century, motorists traveling near Resurrection Cemetery in Justice, Illinois, have reported seeing a lone figure, a young woman in a flowing white dress with cold, glassy blue eyes and golden hair. She walks along the road barefoot, shivering, her face filled with sadness. She never speaks first, but if you pull over, she will get in. Her voice is soft and distant, her touch ice cold. She will ask for a ride home, and if you glance at her in the rearview mirror, you might notice that she doesn't quite be long. Who was Mary? The story goes that in the 1930s, a girl named Mary went dancing at the O. Henry Ballroom, now known as the Willowbrook Ballroom. It was a cold winter night, and after an argument with her date, she stormed off, choosing to walk home alone. She never made it. Some say she was struck by a speeding car, left broken in the icy road. Others say she was murdered, her body dumped near Resurrection Cemetery. But however she died, she was buried there, and she has never truly left. Since the 1930s, countless drivers have claimed to have picked up Mary. A cab driver in the 1970s described a beautiful but eerily silent young woman who gave him an address. But when they arrived, the house was dark. When he turned to speak to her, she was gone. A group of young men in the 1950s met a stunning blonde at a dance hall. She barely spoke but agreed to a ride home. As they passed Resurrection Cemetery, she suddenly gasped, pointed, and cried, "Stop! This is where I need to go." Before they could react, she vanished from the car. Perhaps the most chilling encounters happened at the cemetery gates. Visitors have seen handprints burned into the wrought iron bars, twisted metal that looks as if it had been grabbed by something not entirely human. Some claim Mary's ghostly figure has been spotted clutching the gate, as if trying to escape. Resurrection. Mary is not a vengeful spirit. She does not harm those who help her, but she is a reminder. A reminder of a young life cut short, of a soul trapped between this world and the next. And maybe, just maybe, she is still searching for a way home. So, the next time you find yourself driving down Archer Avenue on a cold night, keep your eyes on the side of the road. Because if you see her, and if she asks for a ride, will you stop?